Good morning and welcome back to Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. I'm Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo, your host. Well, hello everyone. It's so good to be here again 8 days after my first video and 10 days after I came back into the game. Yes, I've done some videos. I've played around with Star Citizen a couple of times over the last couple of years, but I've never really been engaged. I never really have been happy. And I don't know what it is about dying over and over and over again like I did in this. Well, you're not going to see it in the video. I just don't have the... I don't want to be called out on too many things I did wrong. I really suck in combat right now, and there's been so many bugs. I've fallen through the elevators. I've fallen through the ground while on a box mission. I've fallen out of my ship when it was in flight for no reason. There's lots of things that were going on. And then the kicker was I was walking around looking for one of my bodies and I literally got blown off the side of a cliff by the wind. I think all this stuff would make most people frustrated, but to me, it just made me laugh because, well, it made me laugh because it's kind of cool when the environment could affect you that way. And I'm about ready to cry for the people that just had the environment in real life destroy their homes, and my heart goes out to you. But in Star Citizen, where we can just hit backspace and respawn and lose everything that we own, yeah, that's really cool, right? All right, so I do have some saltiness in me, and it's about they give you all this cool armor and everything, and some of it that you paid for in some ways because you're paying $10 or $20 a month. And when you die, you lose it. Yeah, I know you're saying suck it up or just reset your character, whatever it is. But a ship, I have insurance for what is on my ship. And I know that later on I'll have to have the ship hull insurance and I'll have to have the guns and systems insured too, so I get those back when the ship blows up. But I really just think that there's a lot that happens when you lose stuff that you paid money for in your mind, and it does make people a little bit more angry. Anyway, I'm over that. And some of the best things happened when I died in this game. Like, I found something, it cost me 15,000 credits, but I just put out a beacon there, and 25 minutes later, 30 minutes later, there was a guy that came and saved my life, and it made me start thinking. It made me start thinking. And I thought about it over and over again, and I think I've come to the realization that Star Citizen is wicked cool. It's amazing. I didn't even think that that would have been gameplay at this point. But evidently, medical gameplay with all the different attachments for the multi-tool or its own personal weapon in medical gameplay is the coolest thing ever. And suddenly, the Cutlass Red that's on my other ship becomes important. But how many people are really going to put out 15,000 credit bounties, or not bounties, beacons to come and save them? So I'm thinking about it like, how is that going to be? I have the Cutlass Red, I've got a Carrack, they both have these beds in it that it could bring people back up to health. And there's an Apollo coming. I mean, at some point, the progress on it has been halted for the time being. But that's really making me think about the cool things that we could do in the game. So loving the game doesn't come without frustration. There's been much of it, and I've found completing missions to be challenging, but it still hasn't broken my will to come back. Some people call that masochism, but it's not. It's actually just, there's so much fun in the game that it's different. But I really thought 30Ks were over. Ugh. So I'm starting to find different missions also, like missions that just have you go to a certain area and pick up one box. And these areas are usually like these derelict sites that I haven't seen in the past, or just these outposts that just seem beaten down and destroyed, like somebody came through and just blew everything up and left everything there to rot. Now, not people. I'm sure all of them have been taken away from here, but I have no idea. All I know is I've been sent out into the wilderness to find a box. And I do, but I get this cool area to look around, and I was hoping there would be a loot box or something here. And I don't think I found one. I mean, if I did, I missed it. But there's these jumping puzzles that you have to complete, and some people don't like them, but I was a fan of the Lara Croft games. Tomb Raider was cool, and I like it. In fact, in Final Fantasy, there's this one jump puzzle that will absolutely make you go insane. But it's fun. If anyone talks about me putting anything in my bed again, I'm gonna cry. I do use it when I'm not going to be putting other things in it. Like, there's a whole bunch of box missions I run, and I always like to pick the ones that end at Calliope Shubin Mining Facility 8, whatever that is. Because then I could just grab a full load of Agricium, go home, and I get even more money. I mean, that's what I've been doing. When I'm done running boxes, I do that. So this is a 0 to hero. We started with just under 25k, and I can tell you that after today, where I think I'm fully upgraded on my Nomad. Like, we have 5 ships, but we are pretending that only the Nomad exists. And we've got a little bit over 125k, so we spent like 70, 80, 90, 100, over 100,000 already upgrading the ship. And then we made it back, and just by running boxes, it was pretty cool. I did just find these other missions that I'm going to try out, and it's to clear the probes from around the communications arrays. Now, every time I've gone to the communications arrays before, you're like instantaneously KOS because you shouldn't be there. And obviously, if you're there, you're most likely not you're a more nefarious type, right? You're there to shut it down, not fix it, because you wouldn't have a mission. But I found these, and I think I'm going to start running them. I'm going to try them tomorrow. I looked them up. They give about 20k each. Looks like I get a bunch of them done in an hour and maybe make between 6 and 800k in an hour. I don't know, but I have to see how that goes. That will be the next video. Now, this was fun, and it gives me a lot of hope for what's going to be coming with Pyro, because Pyro is going to be one of those places that you don't live in. Yeah, there's going to be a place that you could live in. That derelict station or falling apart station where it rains inside is really cool to me, and I can't wait to see it for real. But there's going to be a lot of exploration. I expect to find a lot of these things around. But with the Pyro star being a flare star, I don't know. There's going to be lots of radiation. I wonder how they're going to do that, because here we need special suits for heat and cold. Is there going to be special protection in our ships, on our bodies, against the solar radiation that we're going to get from the flares that are going to come from Pyro? And how are they going to model that? That's going to be interesting. But these things give me hope for what's coming. So one of the things I do whenever I play games, especially sandbox games, because you need some kind of a connection to why you're there, is I create stories. So Batgirl obviously has her own story, which will be played out when the game actually hits 4.0. But right now, this is Cosmic Cat, a half-sister to Batgirl. And Cosmic Cat is absolutely my favorite character because she doesn't have like $7,000 worth of vehicles. She had a couple of things. She started with a Pisces, and then an Avenger, and then an Aurora LX, and then a friend gave me the Best in Show purple Cutlass that I love to play. I mean, it's a great ship. So what I'm thinking is that I'm going to get her up to about somewhere around 1.5 million, and then I'm going to start using the Cutlass and I'm going to upgrade it. But I really do want to know what that next ship is going to be. I don't know if I'm really going to love mining, though I love mining, but it takes a long time and it's fun. But I might want to just turn her into a cargo runner because Batgirl might be doing a lot of mining. So I'm thinking about moving my hull A from Batgirl over to Cosmic Cat because I have so many cargo ships that I'm going to be using that I think that a hull A over here would make sense. And I'd like to know what you think. Would that be cool? Because I know you can't buy the hull A in-game right now, and if you can, please someone tell me where. But I'd also like to consider a different ship. One in that under $2 million category that could probably carry something like the Drake, whatever the new Drake little car is, right? Because that looks really cool. The mule, the Drake mule, which makes me think of Romancing the Stone. So I think that would be cool. Anyway, let's get on to what really happened today so I can lead you guys out in a good way. So I've been doing box runs because I've really had no luck with trying to get past the LRTs, I guess they're lowest targets in bounty hunting with this, and I think I need a little bit better ship than this, or maybe I need to have a little bit better guns. Right now I have attritions, which in the past really did well for me. But there's these Koenig guns, the FR-22s, that I think might be a little bit better. I'm going to let you guys tell me what to outfit what to outfit this beautiful Nomad with, and if I'm doing it right, because I do think that the diversity of missions is what's going to make it wonderful for me, as opposed to running the same ones all the time, which makes it monotonous. And I could take routine, but I cannot take monotony. And right now I haven't seen monotonous because things happen. Now, I love the fact that there's always storms blowing my ship away. I landed my ship over at one of the Shubin mining facilities, came back, and my ship was like 50 yards in a different direction. Still, they filled it up with agricium. It was pretty fun. And whether I leave the ship running or leave the ship off, it seems like strong enough winds blow it somewhere, and it only happens with the Nomad because Nomad has something wrong with it. So this was like just a run this one box type mission. I believe that's what this one was. And I get in my ship and real life hits. But real life doesn't hit when I get in my ship. It hits when I just take off. And you're going to see what the end result was. It's not a good thing. So I honestly love the fact that there's no visibility. I think it's wonderful. I look at ships today in the 21st century, and specifically airplanes that I fly, and they have something called synthetic vision that will show me things in front of me. There's a mountain in front of me, folks. And I am climbing. You can see that. My son says goodbye. I stand up. I give him a hug. And I'm just there saying goodbye. I hope you have a great night. Make lots of money, because he's a bartender. And I turn around and I'm dead. Oh, I deserve this. I absolutely deserve this. So one of the coolest, but absolutely most frustrating aspects of this game is actually that when you die, there's a loot box, or your body, that has stuff on it. And I had a whole bunch of really good armor and all sorts of things on my body, and I needed to go find it. But because of different bugs, your body can fall through the world. And you could fall through the world at any point whatsoever. So I go back to this mountaintop, find where I died. I'm looking for my body. I'm looking for the items. I need to get that box that I had so I could complete the mission. And I'm being very safe. I knew better than to recall my ship or, put a claim on it, because I thought if I did that, everything that was on it would disappear. And there would be some kind of a chance that everything would be here when I got here. So I found a really good place to land. And again, you can't see anything, especially with the lights on. It's just like real life. I am not going to complain about the fidelity of Star Citizen because it's wonderful. And I'm not going to complain about stupid things I do. I will complain about the vegetation clipping through the ship. That is something that should not happen at this point, but big deal. We're over it. Let's just let it go. And I will not complain about environmental forces doing things to me that I don't expect. So there is a box over here, and I find it. All right, so I got the box. Let's go pick it up. Let's go put it in the ship. I could now take this box somewhere and deliver it and make some money. It was a big one too. And important, right? So I come through the weeds over here. Let's open the ship and put it in. I mean, it's pretty simple. Oh, by the way, I think if you only want to spend a little bit of money, $60, I think it is. I think the Pisces is absolutely one of the better ships for you to start with. Oh my God, here's that bug again that you have to drop it and then you have to pick it up. I'm just going to leave it there. Let's go back out. I know my body is out here. I know my body is somewhere because it said it was over here. And if my body's over here, I will be able to find it and to loot it. So there's pieces of my ship. It looks like the landing gear just hanging out. This is some storm. I think Microtech hates me. I mean, first I smash into a mountain, then I come back here, and it's gotta be here. And the more I use this light, the more I feel like it's just not useful. So I'm just walking around looking for it, and it's gotta be here. It's showing it. And I'm thinking, is it up in the air? Because that light, you know, the little marker is up in the air. Oh, that didn't bode well. The wind just blew me right into the ship. That was weird. That's a nice steep hill. Yeah, let's see. And it's got to be over here, right? So I'm looking, and what's going on? It seems to be behind me. Oh, that's an absolute cliff. I shouldn't. All right, let's turn around. That's too steep. Let's turn around. Let's not go that way. So if it's down there, I probably have to find a different way to get to it. Oh no. What? Why am I going down here? I just slipped down the hill a little bit. That's all right. I'm good. I need to try to get back up again. Wait, what's going on? What? What just happened? All right, back to present me, because the tirade that took over is not something that we're going to let YouTube hear. I don't know what that was. And now when I'm looking at it in post, holy cow, what was that? Was that just the wind? Or did I run out of oxygen? What happened? And now I'm sitting here. What am I going to do? I'm going to waste 15K. I want to see how this works. So I put out the beacon. And I get up and I say, all right, let me take a shower. Let me get something to eat. Let me just hang out and see what happens. And some really, really, really nice guy answered my call. And he came in a caterpillar that was filled end to end with something. I didn't look at it. All I did was thank him. And he saved me. So all I have to say is that the wait wasn't intolerable. It was totally okay because I had other things to do. I really wanted to see this through fruition, right? So he lands his caterpillar. He's talking to me at this time, which you'll probably hear in the background. And he comes and tractor beams me out of there and uses his medical device to stabilize me, gives me some drugs to make it easier for me to walk. Freaking nice guy. That's all I have to say. So this guy, the librarian, and if you're out there, if you watch my video for whatever reason, thank you so much. I really appreciate your help. Now, what did this cost me? 15K. Would it have been easier because I already lost everything and I only had a white suit on? Would it have been easier for me to just come back in a different ship, pick that box back up and just ride it out? Yeah. But I wanted to experience this. And the librarian came from 65 million kilometers away, wherever that was, and saved me. And I thought that was really good. Yeah, he did it for 15K, but he was also equipped to do it.
You want me to get you back up to your
Is this something that goes on in the game often? I wonder, because I've seen maybe one or two beacons and I couldn't hit them fast enough to where I believe other people had picked them up. I am thinking that this is something I might want to do at times with my ships if it happens often enough, and I'd love to know that. There's so much to do in the game, and so many things that I haven't discovered yet. And I have been too salty about Star Citizen for too long. I really would like to know how many of you have been like me where you thought the game was like, meh, why would I want to do that? Oh, this is broken. Oh, this doesn't work. And then you start to play it and you start to realize that, yeah, it's buggy. It's a mess. But there's no other game like it out there at all right now. There's some that come close. I mean, No Man's Sky is kind of fun. But I'm also starting to find out the other piece of the pie. Star Citizen is amazing to play by yourself, to go through some of the different production or job loops, whatever you want to call them. But when you play with others, when you connect with your friends or make new friends in the game and do things together, this is the game. Going from 16 to 100 plus people on a server is probably the best thing ever. And yeah, you'll fall through the world. Yes, you'll die for no reason like I just did, or maybe there was a reason. Yes, you'll fly into the side of a mountain and you'll be frustrated and go into a tirade where 4-letter words are coming out your mouth faster than the oxygen going in. But at the end of the day, you wind up loving it. And I don't want to get into any more discussions about if the game is going to come out, when the game is going to come out. Star Citizen was always going to be a sandbox. And I don't want it to be complete, because if it's complete, the things that we have are done. I do want it to get out of alpha and get into beta. That way they're fixing bugs. So hopefully when all the systems and all the different professions are in the game, that happens. Because you can be out of alpha and still be building out the different star system. And I think as they start to increase the star systems in number, 2 to 3, probably 3 next year, there's going to be even more to do. So it's now Sunday evening, and we're looking forward to Saturday next week for CitizenCon. Personally, I'm very disappointed and pleasantly surprised that they're not doing a real one. Pleasantly surprised because I wouldn't have been able to make it. And if it's in the States, I always want to volunteer and be there to meet all the different people. But disappointed it's digital, and I feel like it's digital like some of the companies that release technology are doing now, where they make it all digital. And oh my God, is this going to happen again? That was just weird. Anyway, I think I'm going to miss Chris getting out there and doing like a keynote, but maybe this year that's better so he doesn't make promises that he'd have to keep. But I am excited to see all the new stuff about Pyro. Hopefully have some good information about Squadron 42, but we all know they can't give us that because Squadron 42 is its own thing, and it should have its own convention, its own whatever, whatever they want to call it, just like a release trailer, a day where they just talk about how long it took to make the game and why, and this is what's coming out. I don't want to know what's in it, but I want something to be told to us about Squadron 42, and I think the Military Fly Week would be perfect for that. Now, they do that as Invictus. Do they still do that weekend right around Veterans Day? That's a good question. I'm excited again. Yeah, I know. I was salty for a bit. I know. I said some things I can't take back. But you know what? That's why we move forward and not back. I am going to start pushing forward as fast as I can with my content, because I'm finding absolutely the coolest things to do, and I hope you join me along with it. And who knows, maybe I'll see you in the verse and we can fly together. I know I'm going to be seeking out somebody I was playing with for a while, and that's Cobra TV. See if I could connect with him and his group and get into some antics, as long as they don't shoot me in the back of the head again. And we will take it from there. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button below. It's really going to help me get back into it by dragging in new viewers to see my content. And if you do subscribe or have subscribed in the past, please go back and click that notification icon so you get notified of all my future videos. Thanks for watching, folks. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon.